Yo, no maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all Bears all the time in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago and the hungry superback down there who's just finishing up.
Not anymore.
My guy, Sean Sierra. Hey, man, listen, we are off and running post preseason and Poles move quick and he moves swiftly. Went out and got an edge rusher, man. 6'7", 264, 267. My bad. Get that right, Brian. I got it. But yes, he's Darrell Taylor, I think, right off the top, and I'm not going to take all the meat off the bone right away. I'm going to hurry up and pass it counterclockwise to my guy, the Canuck, in just a second. But, yeah, I really, really like this move. This guy I've been checking out, Darrell Taylor. He comes out of Tennessee, came out a few years ago. Freak. When I say freak, emphasis on freak athlete, man. Absolute stud of a player, man. And immediately what came to mind when I saw that Ryan Post traded for me, correct me, Brian, if I get this wrong. He got traded for a 6th rounder in 2025, I believe. And it might be a little bit more details to it. We're going to check that out too. But, man, absolute steal of a trade. Absolute steal of a trade. This is a freak athlete, and he will contribute right away to our rotation. And so a couple things came to my mind when I saw that move. The first thing that came to my mind is, and I hope, and I'm knocking on wood right now, that there's nothing wrong with Jake Martin, because he's almost like a carbon copy of Jake Martin. I think Taylor's a little bit bigger, but he's that fastball you need. Also, he's about the same measurables as Dominique Robinson. And what do you compare and contrast with Dominique Robinson? He's everything that Dominique Robinson isn't. Bendy, twitchy to get around the corner. I'm not saying that they're going to trade Dominique Robinson. Let me clear that up right now. Not saying that they're releasing Dominique Robinson, but I noticed that his measurables are pretty much in the same neighborhood as Dominique, and he's everything Dominique Robinson isn't. So I'm gonna close my mouth for a second and pass it on to the Canuck for some pleasantries before we really get into this.
Yeah, I wanted to just give love to the No Maniacs first before I even touch on any of this. Cornelius Squalls, number 2 No Maniac out there in the woods. What it do, Mo Fugra? What it do? Glad you jumped in. Dan Brown, I haven't seen you do very often. Dan Brown, welcome in. Thanks for joining the show and representing with us today. Junior's out there. Patty's out there. Hey, Patty, how's it going? Smitty's out there, not Smitty Q, but I'm sure Smitty Q will be with us a little bit later on. Have both the Smitties here. Joseph Archer's rolling with us. We got Mr. Mayhem, Dante Purify. I think that rolls it out. Oh, it's Crimson's holding it down with us. What it do, Crimson? And the Plankster just jumped in right on time, Plankster. What's cracking? Say what's up to Sheep Plank. I'll pass it over to my guy, the Superback, so we can get down to the nitty gritty. What's going down, Superback?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's Canucks in the building.
Boom.
And Country Santa. That's what I'm talking about. Man,
it ain't Country Santa. Look.
Clean shape. Whoa. Just Country Brian.
Yeah, your favorite redneck.
There you go.
Hillbilly Brian. It's
Hillbilly Brian.
Hey, that works. Onomatopoeia. Hillbilly Brian. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, sports owners and no maniacs unite. Man, we are happy today. Ryan Poles pulled the trigger on an edge rusher. I'm excited. Young cat, not young, but 27 years old. And make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago on our YouTube page, por favor. All right, it's free, so don't trip. But man, we got another end. So this defense just got more better. It's an old phrase I just made up. So I'm excited. I am really, really excited. Excuse me. With where this defense is going, man, there's going to be a lot of meetings at the quarterback. And that's going to do wonders for Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, all those DBs, and it's the linebackers as well, because there'll be some pop-ups in the middle of the field. So this is good, man. Ryan, never not working. Poles was at it again. Right?
Just what little tape that I've seen of this guy, yeah, he's got that high motor. So that is the theme of this team now. And if we're making up words, I'm gonna say the Bears got gooder.
They got gooder?
And we're all
Yes.
just making up words today. Is that how it works? All
Yeah.
right.
Friday, bro. Friday.
He has that quick first step. He's got that flu size at 6'4", 267. Yeah, I'm happy with what little bit of tape that I seen, and it wasn't a person that I thought of, but I'm very happy to get him. Take it away, Nomad.
Well, I will take it away. Like I said, I see similar things in the chat from Dan Brown. I see Michael Copeland saying similar things that I said. You know, it makes you feel like, you know, and I think it's Crimson, you dig, might have said the same thing. I don't know about Dominique Robinson's status as of now, you know, because, and I don't know about Jacob Martin. I'm praying that the guy isn't hurt, and that's the reason why they had to make that move, because they're almost carbon copies of each other. It's that blur of a fastball off the edge, freakish athletically, and what's probably more important in my way of thinking about what the scheme is going to look like with these pieces that we have, it's definitely going to help them get more hybrid in that front, Sean. I mean, very hybrid. They got a few pieces now that can help them really disguise whether this is a 4-3 or a 3-4 at times. Because you got guys that can drop back into flats and zone coverage and take away balls and take away passing lanes for the most part. To me, that's where the 3-4 front, that scheme is more effective in that regard. You know, so now you got speed coming off the edge, a little bit more speed. You got some power coming off the edge. You got some, I like it. I love it. In fact, I can't believe that we got away with this for a 6th-round pick. I'm flabbergasted, man. I'm gonna pass it to you, Canuck, but that's the part that really flabbergasts me. The fact that we got him for 6, and the fact that we're gonna be have the ability to be more hybrid in our fronts. That really excites me.
See, like, I really wish I knew a little bit more about Darrell Taylor. I don't. The comps that you're making here are interesting. Seems to provide the same type of motor and athleticism as a Dom Rob, you know, coming in as a prospect. Dom Rob's a freak athlete, and that was exactly what you called the Darrell Taylor right off the bat here. So, you know, that being said, you know, we may be saying bye to a certain Mr. Robinson down the road. So there's that. To be a little bit more clear on your stance with Jacob Martin, you know, we've gone back and forth on this a couple of times, but he's been injured the entire preseason. So unless they're just strictly relying on tape to make their evaluation on him, which I just don't understand why you would do that, you know, it's hard to move forward with a guy in that situation and pay him when you can go pay a guy who isn't injured, and his name is Darrell Taylor. So bringing in Darrell Taylor is an interesting prospect. We have some very interesting up-and-comers at that position. I kind of appreciate this move because it's twofold. It signifies what Nomad was saying yesterday, and I'm in full agreement with it, because I was saying it myself earlier into the season, and it's that if you see Ryan Poles go out there and get another guy for the other side, he's kind of signifying that he's ready to make a deeper push into the offseason in 2024. That's my thoughts. He thinks his team is actually really good. It's, you know, the Matthew Judon attempt was signifying that. Now the Taylor signing kind of etches it into stone. The fact of the matter is, though, he relinquished a 6th-round pick for him in 2025, not this year, but next year. And yeah, I mean, you're bringing in a guy that can really help that rotation. He's not going to necessarily take over the rotation. I don't see this really negatively affecting the snaps of a Daniel Hardy or an Austin Booker. I think this is a good move across the board. But again, if I knew a little bit more about Taylor, I'd tell you a little bit more about Taylor. Superback, what do you think?
Could you buy Mr. Robinson?
You went old school on him, bro. You went right to Simon and Garfunkel with that one. Damn.
Yes. Exactly what they need. The guy's 27 years old, so he's right in his prime. All right. He's averaged 7 sacks a season. You know, and Brian said earlier, I think right before we went on, that he'd hope it's not a regret. He doesn't regress like Yannick did last year. He's only on the books for 3.1, so not a lot of money at all. And we had plenty of space and for something like this, and this isn't gonna even come close to reaching the amount of space that we had. I don't know if the Bears are in win mode now. I think they're a playoff team. I think if everything goes right, you can get probably to the NFC Championship game, but if you get there, dude, man, all bets are off. I mean, it's literally a crapshoot, you know, because one hit, quarterback for the other team goes down, guys, you know what I mean? He gets hurt, their stud receiver gets hurt, their stud pass rusher gets hurt. Now all of a sudden, you know, you could be in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but I'm just saying that a lot of things would have to go right. And I think Ryan Poles is saying if everything falls our way, I don't want to go into the Super Bowl. I don't want to get deep into the playoffs and not have a stud defensive end on the other side, because at that point you're going to have another year of film on Montez Sweat. Teams are going to have a way to kind of prepare for him, and you need somebody else who can pick up the slacks. And I think that's what Ryan Poles said. Hey, if we get that far, I don't want to get that far just to get that far.
So,
Brian?
Shut up, Don Burr. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry, man. It had to be done.
Like I said, he fits the mold of what Hardy and Booker is. And if you remember, one of Floof's sayings is a pair and a spare. Well, there you go. And then you got Sweat as the other guy. And I would kind of use DeMarcus Walker in basketball terms as your sixth man, because he can play in and out. I can't remember who said in chat that Taylor, he's not that great against the run. Well, that's where, you know, if you're in a running situation, you got Sweat and you got Walker as your ends. This is just part of the rotation. It comes in waves. That's another gutsy thing. With three guys like that is that high energy, that offensive line is never going to get a break from beginning to end. So by the fourth quarter, their tongue's hanging out. And then you got Sweat coming from the other side. You only got 5 offensive linemen. How many guys can you double team at once? Somebody's going to one-on-one, if not free. This is just part of building that. The defense got better today. Nomad?
I think it really does go back to what we were talking about last night, and the concept of the 4-3 in a base front. It's all about how fast can you get back there and disrupt the timing of the offense. Mm-hmm. You need to have that speed off the edge, and we were sorely lacking that for the last couple of years. They've done due diligence, man. Ryan Poles has done a hell of a job. You got to tip your hat to him and making sure that we got the qualified pieces to really give Montez Sweat a chance to, you know, get as many one-on-ones as he can, because let's just say they throw the combination of they want to put Taylor out there on the edge and bring on in one of those NASCAR packages, put Taylor on the edge and put this kick for the sake of doing it, because I think he's shown in the offseason he's powerful enough to do it. Those long arms help him do it. Kick Austin Booker on the inside, and let's just say, Sean, they want to play a game or a twist. Mm-hmm. You've got absolute problems after that. You got absolute
problems,
big time problems, because those two guys, they will get it done over there. I just love the multiple things that they'll be able to do with this guy and the pieces that we have. And here's to hoping that we can somehow keep Daniel Hardy on this team.
Yeah.
Ball. And so what I'm seeing is they know that they'll have power from Montez Sweat on one side, the speed from the other. It seems like that's what they're keying in on. The contrasting styles and the contrasting skill sets from one side to the other. I believe that's what they're after.
You nailed it, man, and you nailed it earlier on. So before I really get into answering you, I just want to give a shout out to Milan. Hey, man, Milan's my homie. He's an OG Canada Bears fan, just like me. We've chopped it up on many an occasion, had a couple of beers together. Milan's in the chat. I just wanted to give him a little bit of love for coming through and checking us out. Hey, man, he's pumped. I'm pumped. I think this opportunity that they have, and if you, and I'm going to start with Dominique Robinson because he was the first guy to sort of express it. He's truly an athlete and a speed rusher, and he should be able to, again, penetrate, get pressure, as well as drop back into coverage. I've seen him drop back into coverage. He has the speed to do so. I'm not sure if he's instinctual enough. It's truly that pass rush situation that he was lacking. So you move towards a Booker and a Hardy and or this new guy, Taylor, and these guys would offer that on that other side. You can drop back into coverage and you're basically playing a 3-4 as opposed to a 4-3. And that is sneaky stuff on the other side, especially when they've schemed the double team over to that to Montez Sweat. I'm going to take a step back and look at Yannick Ngakoue for a second because he's taking some pot shots in the chat, which might be warranted, but I'm going to tell you why they're not really warranted. Yannick Ngakoue was brought here to be the guy. He wasn't. He was double teamed during his time. He wound up getting hurt during his time. It's an unfortunate reality. Until you stress the offensive line of the other team by bringing another piece on the other side, then you can work one-on-one as an edge rusher on the other side. Who gets the double team? Is it Yannick or is it Montez Sweat? Well, when it was Montez Sweat getting the double team, Yannick Ngakoue was effective. And unfortunately, then he was hurt. How we got here is that he didn't perform exceedingly well, and he probably wanted the same contract he just finished having. Ryan Poles just found a guy for much less who will offer very similar upside, additional speed, and potential to drop into coverage. I got no complaints about any of that. I think that's all good stuff because the way that I'm looking at this front four is double team Montez. Who can the rest of the guys win their one-on-ones? If they can, Gervon Dexter's going to be a monster. Austin Booker, Daniel Hardy, Darrell Taylor, whoever's over on the other side, as long as he can win his one-on-ones, he's going to eat too. So this defense is going to be that much more dangerous. And as my guy, the Superback, has already lit up for us, if that front four is dangerous, we already know the linebacking core is disgusting. We already know the secondary is disgusting. It's a problem for offenses NFL-wide. So let's effing go, Chicago.
Hold on, before you go, Sean, let me give a shout out real quick because we had an unfortunate situation that was a little bit scary last night, and reports are Douglas Coleman is up and on his feet and walking around. He's being released from the hospital today. So good vibes and speedy recovery to Douglas Coleman. Man, I hate to see that kind of stuff, and I'm just glad to know that he's functioning as normally, and hopefully it's nothing that carries over, man. So good vibes to Douglas Coleman for that.
Yeah, thank goodness. I'm glad to hear that. It's a violent game, man. And unfortunately, there's some collateral damage sometimes, and it's always good when you hear either when you see a guy walk up or walk off the field under his own power, or when he's carted off, that you hear either later that night or the next day or shortly thereafter that he's up and he's walking around. It's just great to hear. It's just, and I'm glad he's doing well, and thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. So
he was released, I guess. So
who, Douglas? Douglas Coleman?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's really good.
Man, I'm laughing, but it's not funny, man. I gotta say it's not funny because then you look at Larry and what happened. Like the worst time.
I still haven't gotten anything on him yet, man.
I'm just saying the worst time you could possibly get hurt was
for
yesterday
him,
night, man. Yesterday night's the worst possible time you can get hurt before the decision has been made. You get hurt a week later, you're paid, you're signed, you're good to go. They'll wait with you, everything's fine. Like just the wrongest possible time for Douglas Coleman to go down. Same again, like he might not have been like he he was not really likely to make the 53. I'll put that out there. But Larry Bourne, 100%ly was making the 53 unless there was a big trade happening over the course of the next few days. Super unfortunate for Larry, and prayers up for Larry Bourne. I'm giving him a lot of love over the last 12 hours, man. Shout outs to Larry Bourne, man.
Yeah, so I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the health of our players, and once they're healthy, man, this is, dude, just the hair on my arms just standing up thinking about all the meetings at the quarterback that are going to happen. You went over at Canuck, and how many guys can you double team? You only got 5.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to double team more than one, well, hell, now you're taking guys out of the route. And this is literally just with our front four.
That's it.
This is the way the Tampa 2 defense works. You got to get pressure with your front four, because if you do and you force somebody, okay, to an extra blocker, well, that's one less guy out of the route. Now you got 7 people back for, what's that, 6, 7, 3, maybe 3 receivers out, depending on if you have a running back or not. 7 people covering 3. It's a good number, good number. So
somebody could jump around, eh? Somebody could jump around anywhere.
Yeah. Man, it's going to be hats off. Ryan Poles. Ryan never not working Poles. Hats off, sir. I appreciate your efforts. They are top notch. Brian,
were you astonished like me at how fast that happened? Like that was like, and it was done. The next thing you know, it's like either he had this plan if he didn't get if he
listens to the podcast.
Yeah, something. If he didn't get what's his name, Judon, I guess this was plan B.
Yeah.
There's no way he was able to formulate that and make that stuff happen, overnight. No way, man. I said it last night also, kids. You remember when I was just like, it seems that Flus was intent on getting that edge rusher in this building. I was just looking at Hard Knocks, and you could tell he was anxiously waiting to see if if the news about we got Judon dropped, and you could tell the anticipation was there. And he felt like, Brian, this is the piece that we need to kind of put us over the top. But were you surprised at how fast this happened?
A little bit, but Poles is a good Santa. He's got his list. He's checking it twice, see who's available.
Unlike you.
Unlike me, I'm the bad Santa. I'm, trying to break elves' legs.
Oh man, no, I'm not surprised by the speed of it. I'm more surprised with who it is and what the investment was. Like I said, like we last night we went back and forth really just about what do you do at that position? Do you still continue to go and get a top of the line edge rusher to work that other side over top of these developing talents? And I was personally a little bit disillusioned with that as an idea, because I see these guys really coming into their own. And even Ryan Poles himself said it. He was like, in a year, he'll be a guy. And I don't think I don't think it's going to take a year, Ryan. I think both of these guys are working way ahead of schedule. So the upside is you got a guy you don't have to pay a whole heck of a lot and didn't really invest a whole heck of a lot into. Put him in front, allow these guys to learn from him and his experiences and grow right underneath them, and away they go, man.
3.1 is not a lot.
Vacation.
I'm just envisioning, since we got the guy, I'm just envisioning now I can kind of see a complete picture, because they have power off the edge. They've got a guy that they want to get, another guy I'm talking about outside of Montez Sweat on the other side of him. Mm-hmm. Got a power guy. So DeMarcus Walker out there, you can put him out there on some certain downs. And I remember us talking about this last night in a couple shows previously about worrying about whether or not Austin Booker's ascension will be stunted if we brought another guy in. I don't feel like that. I think it's two ways to look at that. I think it takes a couple snaps away from him, but it also, Sean, what I mentioned last night was I believe it helps. It's going to go a long way to keep those guys fresh. In other words, so that's another way of thinking that you can present to that situation. The fact that those guys will be fresh, that fastball versus the power on the other side, I'm liking it. It kind of reminds me of what Lovington were doing, man. They had power on one side and they had absolute speed off the other, and it worked. And they got home with 4 more times than not. And so that's just what's in my head right now, Sean. What are you thinking as far as that goes?
Well, yeah, it's he's a little more svelte, a little more slender, but you get that speed, the power, the thunder and lightning combo coming off each, off the ends. And so if this guy has any type of success, anything close to that type of production last year, I mean, he might hit double digits, because now, I mean, are you going to take the double team off Sweat? I don't know.
No.
But what happens if Javon Dexter starts really coming into his own? You're gonna double team him and leave Sweat alone? Or what about Billings? What about Billings? Billings, hell, he got a contract before his first year here was even up. Why? Because he collapses the pocket, stops the run, and collapses the pocket. So and then you add this guy with speed coming around the end. Man, this defense is looking more and more better by the second, man. Again, Ryan Poles, hats off to you. This is going to be a very exciting, a very advantageous, very opportunistic defense. And I'll tell you who's the happiest. That secondary. That secondary is happy as a pig in slop. Linebackers too. They're going to be some pop-ups too. So, man, we're going to get some of these. Oh, balls in the air, intercepted. Yeah, it's going to happen like that. So,
that's exactly where I was going, Sean. It's if I'm back there and the more and more speed we get coming off the edge, I'm just like, oh shit, we got another one. Oh, now you're playing offense on defense. Now you're not really staring down receivers while you're in your zone. You're looking and anticipating that rush to get home and seeing what comes your way. Force that ball out of there a little too fast. Somebody gets a hand on it or something like that.
mm-hmm.
I think we got a perfect storm cooking. I didn't make that thumbnail the other night for nothing. And we just added a layer to it. I really do, man. I think, we talked about this also last night, talking about, if Caleb Williams comes out and gives us a 250, 300-yard game in the first couple of weeks, that's going to be a plus. If he puts up a couple touchdowns a game, that's going to be a plus. But I believe 100% this defense is going to largely help him bend that learning curve. They're going to give him advantageous, down and distances, field positions, and it's going to be lovely to watch. I'm telling you, we got a storm cooking. This thing, I'm excited as hell, man. I don't get this time of the day. I'm not used to being this excited, but man, what a steal for a 6th-round pick, dude. Straight up.
Man, you wake up excited, brother.
Next year's 6th-round pick.
You roll out of bed excited, at least after this.
I'm lying.
Hey, hold on. Family show.
Oh, man. Anyhow, I'm impressed with what they did. And just to sort of backtrack a bit to you bringing up the taking away snaps from the other young guys, it's really everything about the investment. They're obviously everybody's going to get rotated in. There will be less snaps for the guys that we're talking about, those developmental products here in Chicago. But the real upside is, again, it's only $3 million. It's not a huge investment into a guy. It's not a long contract, 3-4 years that you're talking about. And that's now going to cut into the potential ascension of these developmental talents. I think it's perfect. Brought in a guy that you believe will be able to win his one-on-ones. He's a super athlete. He can drop into coverage, and he's been getting to the quarterback. The only issues that I'm seeing out there in the wins is he gets injured. He's been injured a couple of times. Is what it is. Folks get injured in the trenches, but again, now we've got rotation and depth.
Yeah, but I don't know where you get that, dude. In 2021, he played 16 games. They only had 16 games. 2022 played 16 games.
Oh,
they had 16 games. 2023 played 17 games. They only had 17 games. So
okay. Twitter's lying to me, brother. That's
liars, bro, liars. But man, that's one of the things. Yeah, I wrote down. I'm like, oh man, this guy's healthy. If this guy's healthy at 27, in the middle of his prime, with a stud on the other side, 2 studs inside, I'm telling you, I'm expecting double-digit sacks. And it might not happen early. They might say, okay, prove that you could all snap. Oh, now what are we going to do? You know what I mean? Because once he starts getting a couple sacks, what if this Joker gets two sacks in game 1 because they're double teaming Sweat and keeping a guy in and a tight end in for Sweat, and then they want to double team either Billings and then one-on-one with Dexter and one-on-one with him. No, we don't. Right, you're good. We don't need him to do that. Just set the edge. And if he's really only going to be in on passing downs, my goodness.
So Sean's responding to Dan Brown, which I've seen, and shout out to Dan Brown. Thank you for being here, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I've ever seen you here, but welcome to the community. Love new people. But I'm gonna read what Dan Brown said. He says, just don't expect him to stop the run, but we don't need him for that. We're good against the run. Now, see, for me to respond to that in a qualified way, I got to do a little bit more homework. I'm gonna dive into the tape, and it's not that I don't take you for your word, Dan. I just want to see it for myself, and so I can qualify it. But after a deeper dive, I'll be able to come back in here, and maybe I'll give a check to what Dan just said. But for the most part, I think he's they want him to be a specialist, but they will expect him to hold down the edge as well. Man, he's big enough to do it.
Well, and I think you alluded to this too, and it's just the rotation allows him to do some different stuff, right? So you started with Walker, being the more big body power case scenario. He's going to power, bull rush you, put a tackle on his butt. Then you've got your 3 speedy athletes that offer shades of different things in Booker, Hardy, and Taylor. So I'm if Taylor's not the run game specialist, I've seen Booker do very well. Like Booker and Hardy, just by way of motor, clean up very well in the run game, and I can see that coming as we move forward into the season. But this is interesting. It really lets Eric Washington, hopefully Flus at some point lets takes let's go the reins and just says, hey brother, go have at it. And I think Eric Washington will have a great time dialing up some interesting stuff with this particular set of humanity back there on the Bears defense, because right down to the nickels, I could see all sorts of different blitzes coming at folks while our 4 just sort of stay put, right? Do what you got to do your job, and sack.
I
forgot about that.
Dan Brown admits he's a closet Seahawks fan. That's how he knows it. So,
okay, all right.
Could have had the Dan for that one.
I forgot, and I don't know why I forgot, but the Eric Washington effect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy's coming in. I mean, look at what these guys are doing now. All right, you saw last night. You saw last night the relentlessness. I said it on my show today. The relentlessness that defensive line. I mean, they're a bunch of rabid, crazed dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, again, the hair on my arm just stood up when I said that, because that excites me as a former D coordinator. When you got guys who just won't stop, when you just got guys who are going to get the quarterback, when you got guys who are chasing people down, you got guys who are looking to, put their face mask through your chest. Those are the kind of guys you want playing, and the decisions that are going to have to be made, man. I could see Kevin Hardy there. I could see who's the other young guy? Not Booker.
Khalid Kareem.
Daniel Hardy.
Hardy. I could see all those guys. Man, think about that. Think about that rotation, right? And then what's going to happen is these guys are going to get better, the Hardys and the Kareems and the youngsters, because look who they're emulating. Look who they are in the same room with. So, man, you talk about building this team the right way, man. Case in point, that's how you do it. Just cue up Montel Williams. This is how we do it.
Hey, Sean, I'm telling you, I think what the fans should pay a little bit more attention to, not to say that you guys aren't, but just to reiterate this, I think the ability to allow a front to get more multiple, more diverse up front, to kind of confuse the defense, it gives the defense such a huge advantage of not knowing, your typical whether you're going to get down in your typical 4-man front with all hands in the dirt, whether you're going to stand some guys up, drop them in the flat, drop them over the middle, or whether, I mean, there's so many things that you can do when you have the multiplicity of power and speed.
Yep.
So many things the offensive line has to prepare for, and you just don't know how they're going to come at you. I mean, so it's just going to help us get more diverse on defense, and that's a win-win when you got probably A-level linebackers and secondary. That's just huge. It's just huge in ways that until you guys see it on the field, you won't even realize how good we just got.
Wow. We're giving the kid a lot of credit. So let's hope he is what he's advertised as.
He's added to the list of guys that's going to help us get more diverse. It's a win-win, man. That's all it is to it.
I agree.
I want to add something real quick to what Sean said just a little bit ago. His snap count average is like 510 a season, which if you divide that into 17 games is about 30 snaps a game. He had 543 in 2021, 485 in 2022, 522 in 2023. So I don't know why they said something about injury. I seen that too, kids, online. I don't know what he's missing.
Well, what you just broke down for us, Brian, if those of for those of you who may not have understood it, what you just broke down is that this guy doesn't play very much. Over the course of the last few years, he got 21 sacks. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. 3 years, 21 and a half sacks.
30 snaps a game. That's pretty crazy for real. Like that's pretty nuts. Those are astronomical numbers. But again, I'm not a Seahawks guy. I'm watching the team. I can't really speak to how that happened. Like I don't know. I'm don't expect me to go watch Seahawks football either. I'm probably not going to do that.
Nope.
But you know what I mean? Like with the amount of snaps he's getting, he probably shouldn't be getting that number of sacks. That's astronomical.
Kids, let me mention what Jan is asking right here. He says, does anybody know if it's a 2025 6th-round pick of the Bears or Miami who trade? My guess is ours. I wish I could tell you for sure. What'd you say, Sean?
Oh no, I said no. It's
So that's not out yet, Jan. That's not out as in which pick it is, but I think they have 3 6th-rounders for 2025.
So they got one, yeah.
Yeah. So one of ours, one from Miami.
Pittsburgh.
Potential Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
So I would have to assume it's either ours or Miami's. They're not going to trade off the Pittsburgh because it could turn into a 4th.
Yeah.
Right. So either ours or Miami. I'm going to assume it's probably ours because the Seahawks would think that we're probably the team that stands to have the worst record versus Miami. And that's a big mistake by them.
Hey, guys, you know what, Jan? I wish I'm producing. We don't have a producer today. I wish I can go and try to get some updated information. I don't know if anything's out. Kids might be right. They might.
Well, yeah, no, I took a peek out there.
Okay, so there is another thing that we need to discuss real quick, and that is, and be on standby, Bears fans, because there might be another move per Brian Gilmore. He's just like, he ain't done yet. The injury to Larry Bourne last night may force Ryan Poles' hands because, one, we don't have Kieran Amagaji up and running. He was just ramping up this week before this game. And I know that I'm not going to say they won't have him ready for week 1. What are we, 3 weeks out, 2-3 weeks out?
2,
but a couple of weeks out. So I don't know. I think we might need to be on standby for another podcast. I don't know how Ryan Poles is moving, but I think if Larry Bourne's injury is significant enough, I have no doubts that he's going to have to make a move here. What do you guys think?
I don't think there's a choice. I hate to say this one, and I think Larry Bourne is has proved that he's a solid swing tackle in this league. I'll say that one more time. That being said, getting hurt yesterday of all times for Larry Bourne is the worst possible timing, and they need to have a viable swing tackle on this team. The idea was Larry's solid. Let's develop Karan. Karan's been injured. He hasn't had that opportunity to truly develop. So again, the onus falls on the shoulders of a Larry Borum. If Larry Borum is no longer healthy and can't perform, and neither is Karan, you got to cut bait and go find somebody who is. And that's my 2 cents. Sean?
Yeah, the Borum injuries.
Just timing, bro.
Yeah, the split kick and then the gonads.
That's a bad one.
You know, and
By the way, if anybody has any updated information while we're on this show, man, we would love to have it, and we would appreciate it if you find it.
And please tell us who you got it from, what source you got it from. Don't just say, well, I heard it.
Right.
Let us know whether, Tom Pelissero or, any of the other, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, no Twitter handles, man. You get that from a qualified guy.
Yeah, that hurts because now you got to go look for a tackle. All right, depending on the severity of this. That hurts. That hurts. We're already thin at that offensive line, and this makes us thinner. Yeah, it's tough. I hope it's not too serious.
Well, FFG, they can do several things. FFG asked, one of our members asked, can Jake Curran or Matt Pryor take over the job? Yes, both of them have the ability. Also, and I doubt if this happens, but we still hold the flexibility of kicking Tevin out if we needed to. He can do it if we needed to, but I'm not going to say we don't want him there, but I would, only reason I'm saying this with a little, I'm saying it a little bit with a little anxiety. I don't want to have him move again. So I think, to me, the onus is on Poles, depending on the severity of Larry Borum. He might just have to make a move here. We got a few guys on this roster: Aviante Collins, Pryor, Curran is possible. We got a few guys that can really kick out, but how much quality are you going to get out of those guys versus going out? And I don't think it's a free agent out there that really fits that bill. I think you have to trade for him.
Don't forget the Canadian Eagle. If he's healthy, he can help out.
Is he even still there?
Of course he is. He's picking up 40-year-old mothers.
Damn.
Mothers of two, 40-year-old mothers of two. Anyways, I'm not sure how injured he was in that preseason game, in that Hall of Fame game. I don't know what his status is with the team at this present time. But again, he is a swing tackle potential waiting to happen, waiting to be developed. If they need something along those lines, he might be a good look. But the question again here is the question we're asking about Larry Borum. Is he healthy? I'm not sure.
I think also, before you go, Sean, I see you building up something to say, man. I think Flus, did you see the presser last night, man? You on mute, bro.
You're muted.
Bye. Yeah, no, I didn't see the presser last night. I didn't see it.
Okay, so what you would have gotten from that, listening to Flus talk, it sounded like somebody asked him a question about Zach Pickens and the severity of what he's got going on. And he was kind of non-committal about speaking to it, but he did leave you with the impression that they're looking to shore up that D tackle position. So it might be another move made in that department as well. We got a couple potential moves happening: tackle, D tackle. It's a very, very high chance that something's going to happen here soon.
Yeah. And there's also, and Michael Copeland, I think, just nailed it in the chat, so I'll throw it up here. No need to trade. There will be a swing tackle released by another team. Right? So we'll likely see another tackle out there. We'll likely see another opportunity for line depth as well. I think both of those things may slide off of another team's roster, and we'll have the opportunity to utilize that as opposed to using any actual capital to get it. I think this was the right move, though, by way of capital and investment at the edge position. I think this was the right move as far as the offensive line depth case scenario. I think they're probably going to wait wait and see what the 53-man rosters in the NFL look like, and who's available before they start spending capital.
That is the smart play.
Yeah, I agree. Just wait and see, and you can literally have someone for cheap. And I shouldn't say cheap. Yeah, you'll be able to get someone at a very cost-effective manner.
Yes, sir.
Because once you get cut, you don't have your people realize you got to realize your lifestyle stops. All right. So guys, if you're cut, guys will be more than happy to take a little bit lower of a salary.
You lose leverage.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know what? I'll instead of 6, I'll take 4. Save you a couple and let's get this thing done, because mama gotta get some new shoes this year. You know what I mean? And she got a lifestyle she got to live.
Kids need braces.
I don't know about the knee braces, but
I just think that spot is really it's going to be some advantageous situations that come out of these cuts. Michael Copeland is absolutely right. Spoke to that last night too a little bit. It's going to be some opportunities that come up. We're going to provide some opportunities for some guys too, because we're going to absolutely lose a good DB. It's going to be a good corner that ain't going to make this team.
Bro, there's not just corner. There's a couple of rooms where a good player is going to fall out of.
Linebacker too. We talked about
that. Includes that's right where I was going. It includes linebacker.
I'm scared for him.
You named the one guy who's probably going to be the odd man out there. They're super back, and I know how much Nomad loves that particular guy. But there are some odd man out on this 90K scenario that unfortunately will not see 53. The real questions to me is like, of those guys that we know are just uber talented and just truly cap casualties, who can they stash in that practice squad now? Like which guys have they been able to sort of hide how good they are? And like where I'm going with this is you can't hide Reddy Stewart. I don't know what you're gonna do with Reddy Stewart. I don't know.
You know what? Let me update everybody that may or may not be just joining the show. If you're just getting in here, breaking news: the Chicago Bears have signed the edge rusher Darrell Taylor from Seattle. They acquired him for a 6th-round pick. I think there's something conditional to it as well. But absolute steal for the Bears. Ryan Poles executed very quickly, and apparently, that want for an edge rusher was real the entire offseason, and they worked diligently to try to get what they needed. They didn't get the Matthew Judon trade, so they had a plan B in place, and today we got to see that. They just acquired Darrell Taylor, defensive edge rusher from Seattle, 6'4", 267. Did I say that right, Brian, or did I mess that up?
No, he was right.
You got it right
that time.
But that's where we are, man. But I do think, I don't know, man. I don't hate to do podcasts, but I do have a life. But I got a feeling we're going to end up on here again at some point, maybe later on this evening. But something's going to happen within the next 24 to 48
like
hours.
A fireman.
Yeah, kind of. You can't. As soon as you sit down for your meal, nicely cooked meal, taco salad bar or something they hooked up. Next thing you know, it's cold sitting there because you're out there putting out a damn fire.
Our motto is grab your hose and be ready.
In the microwave, bro. Just microwave.
What
the microwave is for.
That's
what
awesome.
that translates to is just put a pin in it, and we'll do it on Sunday night show. Is really what that translates to in real time. Put a pin in it. But hey, something pops up on a Saturday. There's no way you'll see me tomorrow. I'll just put that. I will be drunk. I'll put that out there now.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a Saturday, man.
Ooh.
Been one heck of a week.
Yeah, we'll have to find somebody, man, because I got a feeling I ain't gonna be able to
no pins.
If nothing else, guys, we will be back here Sunday. Sunday night doing our regular Nomad at night. If nothing else, and we'll do that. But in between time, meantime, and in between time, man, we might have to go out there and give the Bears fans what they're looking for. They need content. They need to know the updated information. And that's why we do this, man, to help provide that for them. And so when it happens, man. Plank gifted another another membership to the Nomad Network. Plank is my guy, man. He is too damn kind, man.
When he gifts, so check it out. So when he gifts a membership, does that mean somebody else can have one for free? So that, oh, would you look at that? Levante Rogers was gifted a membership by Plank. That's dope. Levante, welcome.
No, he's not. No, he's talking about the pick. He's talking about the 6th round pick and the conditions.
Okay.
I think that's what he's talking about. But shout out to Plank. Man, that is our number one no maniac, man. I think he proves that every time he comes in here, man. Plank is my guy, man, and he got a camouflage Chicago football style shirt that when he got it, the medium didn't fit him. He didn't complain about it, man. He just like, don't worry about it, no matter. I'll keep it and just order another one, man. That's just pure loyalty and love, man. That guy hits me in a soft spot, man. So I love you, Plank, man. Just know that out there. Man. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? Did we touch everything? Oh, Bayless Jones, man. Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn it now. We damn near missed that one, man. But wow. What a drop ball by Luke Getsy by not using that skill set. He saw it happen a couple times. He got a couple of flashes, Sean and Keds and Brian, and he went away from it. How in God's name? I just don't understand that for the life of me. I hate to be still bashing.
I'm gonna flip this and ask you the realest question of the world in the world. How mad will you be if they cut him?
I'd be very pissed off because he's gonna end up because he's explosive as hell. What do you mean? Why?
So
that's easy.
Because I'm just saying because there's only so many spots in those rooms. Like somebody's got to go. If it's Velus.
Look,
and that's too much explosion. You put that on Detroit, man, he'll eat your ass alive, man.
So I liken it to that hot girlfriend that you say you put up a lot of bullshit from.
Oh, I'm married to her.
You know, you put up with a lot of stuff. It's like because when you go out, people are like, damn, dog, that's your wife, that's your girl. Yep. All right, and. You put him on
real quick, Sean. He did gift that to Levante. He gifted a member to Levante. So shout out to Plank for that. My bad, Sean. I just had to point that out. I was wrong.
I was trying to. You shut it down.
My bad. I just didn't see it. I didn't see it that way at the time.
just let it ride. Super back.
Yeah. So you saw what he can do. Like, let's be honest. Once he cut back, how many people thought he was getting caught? I didn't. I'm like, oh snap! It's a house. I'm like, that's a house call. That's a house call. So you cannot just let that type of speed walk away. And he's your guy. Like you drafted him. So that's a double whammy for him staying. Like he showed he can be an explosive player. Man, yeah. He's like I said, he's like the hot girl that you just can't. You put up with a lot of stuff. You put up with the muff fumbles and the dropping of the ball and the
muff fumbles.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hey, he's like Kenny Adams saying, man, he's a Poe's guy, and his performance last night gave Poe's a reason to keep him.
Poe's been looking for a reason to keep both him and Tyler. Like somebody's got to go in the room. Somebody's got to go.
He's not. He's no longer in the receiver room. You should look at. You should hold on. Let me pull up. Hold on. Let me pull up Herb's.
It's a pretty tight
Herb's breakdown here, because I asked Herb to come on because I thought he was right on when with his. I'm about to share my screen here in a second when I find it. Herb had a great 53-man breakdown. I got to show it. Got to find it first.
Did both Velus and Tyler make it?
Huh?
Did both Velus Jones and Tyler Scott make it?
Oh yeah, you're gonna find out. Let me show you. Hold on.
In the grass.
I thought the best one I seen. I've seen a few of them so far, but this is the best one I've seen. I got to talk to Herb about this. Here we go. Here's Herb Howard on Twitter. All right, this is his list, man. His initial 50, and this happened. I gotta preface this. He didn't know about the Darrell Taylor trade. So here we have it so far. So he's got a 7-man cornerback group. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
So he's got a 7-man cornerback group. No real surprises here other than you got Jalen, you got Tyreek, Kyler, Terrell Smith, Jalen Jones, Josh Blackwell. He's got Reddy Stewart. and he basically saying that what's his name? 27. Greg Stroman is out. So I thought that was significant. Safeties, of course, Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, Elijah Hicks, Jonathan Owens. No surprises there. Okay, linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Sanborn, Noah Sewell, Micah Baskerville. We can argue about that later.
I'm arguing.
Hold on. I know you want to fuss about it. Here we go. D tackle, Andrew Billings, Jervon Dexter, Zach Pickens, Byron Coward. I think that's right on. Edge rusher, he's got Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, Austin Booker, Dominique Robinson, Daniel Hardy, and Jacob Martin with some.
Take that Kenny Adams thing down. Nomad. Take that Kenny Adams.
I got it. Keep going, Nomad.
Okay. And then and he's got a question mark around Jacob Martin. Long snapper, Patrick Scales, kicker Torrey Taylor, and Cairo Santos. Receivers, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Romo Dunze, Tyler Scott, Dante Pettis. Tight ends, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, Mercedes Lewis. Quarterback, of course, is Caleb Williams, Tyson Bagent. That's something to talk about. Keeping the fullback, Kari Blasingame. Offensive line, Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton, Nate Davis, Darnell Wright, Kieran Amagaji, Ryan Bates, Matt Pryor, Larry Borum. Question. Running backs. Here it is, kids. DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, and Velus Jones. First four people out, he's saying is going to be Travis Homer, Greg Stroman, not Great Stroman, Khalid Kareem, and Eamon Agabamiga. Best I can do. And so
yeah,
I found that to be pretty significant, man. And I'm gonna let you guys respond to that.
Yeah, I think Herb missed a couple of guys. So I think Eamon Agabamiga makes his team. He's been playing for here's the thing. Really hard to pronounce the man's name. I'm just gonna say that his one downside. Outside of the pronunciation of his name, Mike, number 45, been all over the field in every single one of these preseason games. Hair on fire. Mm-hmm. I think he wins a spot over, unfortunately, Noah Sewell. That's my 2 cents, just by way of play. Now, they know what they have in Noah Sewell. They invested in Noah Sewell, and Noah Sewell's clearly been injured over this time. We only got the chance to see him yesterday, and yesterday he missed a huge tackle, which turned into a touchdown. So that's my thoughts with Noah. As far as, we'll just cut right back down to Dante Pettis.
We're going to wrap it up, by the way. I saw that.
Tight end room. I think one of those two tight ends make it over Kari Blasingame. They both of them played very well in this preseason. And I've seen maybe 3 or 4 snaps from Blasingame, mostly blocking, which is really his forte, is what a fullback does. One rush there yesterday, whereas I've seen a ton of snaps go to 47 and 88. They've been pulling in balls. I'm kind of impressed with what those 2 other tight ends have done, and Waldron likes the 2 tight end set. So you may want to have Mercedes Lewis he's not going to step into the role of a Gerald Everett or Cole Kmet if either one of those guys goes down. Just facts. I think they keep another tight end and Kari doesn't stick around. That's my thoughts there. I actually think they keep them both. In keeping them both, I'm kind of in keeping them both, you're looking at a Larry Borum IR or cut. That makes up for it. And let's do me a favor and scroll down, Nomad, please.
What in the? Let me take this
on the post, so I can see the running back and the rest of this. Yeah, scroll down.
Let me see.
Yeah,
right there.
So now we're at running back. I kind of expect this to be what it looks like, to be frank with you, because except for one thing. So we're definitely getting rid of Homer strictly because of cost. And again, I'm not sure how effective he's ever been in the role. That being said, that leaves us over to to letting Velus Jones be a part of that room, which is great. Except then you look at the guys who are actually out, and a Khalid Kareem. I don't know if you let him go. I don't know what you do with that.
He's gone. He's gone.
I don't know, man. I
think he find a spot for him
well.
on special teams. He's gone.
And they also brought him back last year too.
Yeah, I think they like the guy, and I think they like the time spent, man, and that's important, man. They spent some time with Khalid Kareem. They just didn't bring him in for the the off season. You know what I mean? They brought him in, and they've been spending time with he and Daniel Hardy. So there's investment there, man. So
well, Daniel Hardy is he's a later round pick of ours, right? So it's when we talk about investment in a Dom,
we definitely picked him up, man.
Oh no, he was a Chargers. Is that right? Chargers.
Yeah, we definitely picked him up.
Rams. Same cause. You're right. He's a Ram. All right. Well, I think those guys have played really well on the edge. I think either one of them could stick around. I know they've got a little bit of love for Kareem because they selected Kareem over Lewis and Gibson last year. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what they do with those last few guys. But I like them all, and like this is a great problem to have. When you're cutting things down to this level and you've got some real talent on the chopping block, it's a great place for the Chicago Bears team to be.
Brian, you got any more last thoughts before we get ready to wrap this up? Man, we got I just think I'm just excited as hell waiting to see what's going to drop next.
I would just keep eyes peeled on more trades in the work, because since you got this much talent that you have to get rid of, try to get something for it, that wherever holes you have, try to fill.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great problem to have, man. And it's been a few years since the Bears were ever even in position to have quality enough depth and, a strength of a roster so that people come knocking at your door instead of you going to peck at theirs.
Yeah, I said last night, Poles has flexibility.
Yeah. And so, Dan Brown, hope to see you in the chat more often, man. Glad to have your presence here. You were really good. Loved your takes in the chat. Would love to see you in the chat more often. Yeah. We love to see you here, man. And so for everybody else, you know what? Let me pass it on to the Canuck, man, for some pleasantries before I start doing all that.
Oh, fine. Hey, No Maniacs, thanks for coming through for an impromptu episode. Nomad whipped us into shape real quick, and here we are talking Chicago Bears, just like you love it. In any event, give you guys a little bit of love, and thanks again for holding it down with us today. Dan Brown, thanks for coming through. Don Burr, absolutely zero love for you. Cornelius Squalls, number 2, No Maniac out there. Bug Plank, he'll eventually give you one too. Bug him. Jason, what it do, man? What's cracking? In the Graphs came and showed up with us today. Kenny Adams was with us. King Booker World, Super No Maniac, King Booker World, Super No Maniac, Yan Hammer, PZ. Oh, PZ, I haven't seen you in a minute. Berlissimo snuck into the chat. Og Bon Bam Miga, he says. I'm so with it. Patty Laura, thanks for coming through, Patty. Say what's up to Junior Forrest. Bruha, Michael Copeland gave us some great insight today. Thank you, Michael. Smitty Q rounded out the 2 Smitties today. I told you both of the Smitties would be in full effect. Levante Rogers, thanks for coming through and also becoming a Super No Maniac by way of the Plankster. And I think that's Juku off the dub. I think that's about it. Hey, man, thanks again for coming through. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for chopping it up and talking Bears. I think we're in a fantastic position right now, mainly because, again, we have the edge rusher situation bottled up and taken care of, and in a manner that it does not negatively impact the growth and development of an Austin Booker or a Daniel Hardy. I think those guys are ascending. I think they have the motor to really make effective change on that defensive line. So on top of all of that, that leaves the purse strings wide open and a fair amount of cap for Ryan Poles to go crazy. So let's see what he does next. Fingers crossed.
Katrina Poulin just pulled up. And
hey, Katrina, how you like them apples, Katrina? You hating it or what? Oh, you just missed the show? It's all good. It's all good. Catch you on replay, Katrina. But, yo, Pay attention, my dear. I think we're in for some awesome for the one of the greatest Bear seasons of all time. Bear down, Brian.
No Maniacs and Sports Owners, thanks again for sharing your time. And I can't believe as many people showed up on kind of a short notice. I mean, this was an impromptu podcast, really, but I think it was very informative. And if you agree with me, please hit the like. And if you haven't subscribed before, please do. I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe, blessed weekend, and keep your eyes peeled. While you're hitting the subscribe and like, hit the bell too, because who knows when the next podcast may
Good
pop
call,
up.
man. Good call. Yeah. So ditto everything Brian just said. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Definitely hit your notification bell, because you don't know when the next, or you'll be like Katrina, just pulling up like, what the hell, man? You guys doing a podcast? What happened?
Yeah.
Because you didn't hit your notification bell. You didn't know. That's what happened. So make sure you do that.
Only I can give Katrina grief. Don't be giving Katrina grief.
Yeah, save it for you then, kid. All right, man. With that being said, man, thank you guys. Thank you. Good shout out to Mo Fugra. I saw you in here early. I didn't get a chance to give you a shout out, man. Shout out, Mo. Thank you guys. One more time before we finish this up. If you're just now tuning in, breaking news: Ryan Poles made a trade with Seattle and acquired an edge rusher, Darrell Taylor, out of Cincinnati. He's been playing 3 years, 6'4", 267, freak athlete. What's that?
Seattle. You said Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Okay, Seattle. My fault. Thank you, Brian, for correcting that. So I think the more you guys, I encourage everybody to go start looking at some tape, whatever you want to do, highlights, all 22. But I guarantee you this, guys. The more you watch, the more you're going to like. I guarantee there's going to be people that come back into this show. The next time we do a show, they're going to be like, wow, the more I watch, the more I like. I've been checking him out since he was at Tennessee. So I know a little bit about him, but I'm going to do a deeper dive because I had a guy that was concerned about his run defense, and I'm going to look into that myself just to see if I can come back with some better information for you guys. But that being said, you guys, thank you again for being here on this impromptu Nomad Live emergency podcast. It was fun. I absolutely enjoyed the energy. Everybody brought it. You can see the intrigue is live and kinetic all over the Bears fan base. And the good news is there ain't no way in hell Poles is done. And we still got cut downs, but I think there's moves to be made. And I think you guys it's gonna be a newsy next 24, 48 hours, 72 hours. I believe that one.
Between now and Tuesday.
Before you shut it down, shout outs Foster Covers for coming through. What it do?
Oh, what up, Foster?
Hey,
and Bruja dropped the most Canadian salutation of them all, and I'll just throw it out there too. Have a beauty weekend, eh?
Yeah, that's
don't get much more Canadian than that. So there it is. There she goes.
It sounds more like Minnesota. That's what they sound like there, man.
Yeah.
But with that being said, man, appreciate you guys one last time for coming in. Can't wait till we do the next one. If you don't see a podcast between here in the next 24, 48 hours, we will be back on Nomad at Live, Nomad at Night, Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central. But with that being said, let me leave you guys with these famous words. If you can think it, Bears fans, and you can see it, Bears fans, don't be scared. Don't be shaky. Don't be a fair weather fan. Absolutely manifest it, Bears fans, and get on out the way and watch it happen. But with that being said, we are out.